When you think of the best manager to ever manage a football team, you think of Alex Ferguson. At least I do. But leave a comment below who you think. But today's video is going to be based around Sir Alex Ferguson's treble-winning tactics. And if you guys do enjoy the tactics on this channel, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, turn the little notification bell on so you never miss another upload. But let's get into the results and see how good this treble-winning tactic actually is. Since it's based around Sir Alex Ferguson, it is going to be based around Manchester United. And we're going to be testing with the old database and the new database, comparing them and seeing if there's any similarities in some of the players and seeing what happens, really. And I am very excited. I'm a Manchester United fan, so this video is quite special to me. So let's get into it. We're going to roll things out with the old database first and see what results we can get. With Manchester United, we've got some fantastic players, obviously, over in that database. And as you can see here, we actually are not treble, we're quadruple winning team in this save. As you can see, the Premier Division, the FA Cup against Bradford City. Always weird seeing them, obviously, being such a high-up team back in the day. The Coca-Cola Cup against Newcastle and the FA Charity Shield against Arsenal. So a quadruple winning season. We scored 156 goals, 17 conceded, so really good at the back as well. 2 red cards, so, I mean, we did have Roy Keane. Let's just be realistic. Let's just be honest. We absolutely stormed the Premier League over Arsenal with 91 points. We had 9 points over them, giving us, you know, a 9-point advantage. We could have lost 3 games if we really wanted to. Not that that's the right mindset to have, but that's what the facts are. Going over to the team stats, we are going to be looking very convincing in a lot of these. Most points per game at 2.63. Most goals at 156. Over 1,000 shots. Fewest shots at 184. We're going to have most clean sheets at 24. And the fewest conceded coming in at 17. In terms of the data hub, we are going to be looking at 4.11 goals per game. Conceded at 0.45. A pass completion of 81.42. And shots per game over 27. 27.58 shots per game. Absolutely sensational. Going over to the squad, we have got a lot of good players. Obviously, Dwight Yorke is incredible on this database, scoring 103 goals across the entire season. Andy Cole with 66, Solskjaer with 30, 16 coming in for David Beckham, 15 for Giggs, 8 for Scholes, Roy Keane with 5. In terms of the assists, we've got 49 from Ryan Giggs on the wing, 29 for David Beckham, Scholes with 23, 20 for Dwight Yorke, Andy Cole with 18, 16 for Gary Neville. We love a bit of G Neville. 12 for Roy Keane, Phil Neville with 12, 9 coming in for Solskjaer, 6 for Nicky Butt, and also Yap Stam coming in with 3, which we do love to see. Overall, a fantastic season. Obviously, I know this database can get a little bit crazy with some of the players that you do obviously get to use, but it is fun to test on this because sometimes just switching up makes tactic videos a lot more fun to make, and you get to see some of the legends. You know, it's a really good database. So again, I say this every single time. I can't give enough credit to the creator of this database because it is an absolute masterpiece. And I actually want to show you a game from the Champions League semi-final second leg at home where we actually won 8-1 against the Barcelona team. Now, I don't know if you guys have played on this database or just have, you know, football knowledge from back in the day, but Barcelona's team was absolutely incredible. And we actually went 1-0 down here, and that's why I selected it as well, because the mentality of this team is absolutely sensational. As Cole goes down the right-hand side here, loads of room in the middle. Find him, he does. It goes all the way through into Dwight Yorke, who equalises literally 3 minutes after the penalty goes in. And this is when we went on a rampage, as obviously it's going to be De Boer playing it out, and we are going to put some pressure on here. Loads of pressure. Guardiola bottles it under the pressure into Dwight Yorke. The keeper could have collected that, but he sort of bottles it as well. And Dwight Yorke puts us, well, pretty much in the lead after a very dodgy start. Roy Keane on the edge of the box here. Finds Gary Neville out on the right-hand side into Beckham. And he takes a shot, bend it like Beckham off the post into Giggs. A little bit of a lucky deflection there, but the bend it like Beckham coming in. We do love to see it off the post creating the goal after a little bit of fortunate luck there. A bit of an interesting touch there from Ryan Giggs. Finds Phil Neville on the left-hand side. It's going to drill it into the box, into Cole. Past Hesp, and that is going to be a very, very lively first half. Still one more goal to come in that first half, though, as Roy Keane driving at the opposition. He's got no fear whatsoever, this lad. Bombing down the right-hand side into Cole, goes alone into the left-hand corner, and that is going to be a very, very perfect first half. We do love the keywords, ultimate and perfect. Beckham down the right-hand side. Plays it out. What's going on here? It's a bit of scrappy from Barcelona into Cole, into Dwight York, into the right-hand corner. And this Barcelona team, a team that realistically are absolutely incredible. They've got some really good players in here, have just completely collapsed against a very strong United team, don't get me wrong. And Beckham again through one-on-one into the left-hand corner. It feels like everything we're doing, we are doing right. And that is what you want to be seeing with this team. As Dwight York cuts it back, a little bit of luck there. De Boer, I believe, got the clearance there, but Dwight York wins it back into Giggs, drives it across into Cole. A bit of a scrappy one again. There's been 2 or 3 of them goals, but what a performance. And we're then going to go over to the current Manchester United team, and we still had a very good season. This actually is going to be a treble winning season, winning the Premier League, the FA Cup, and also the Carabao Cup against Chelsea. Unfortunately, not winning the Europa League, getting knocked out against Atletico Madrid, actually on penalties. So a very close game there, but unfortunately just missing out on doing the quadruple there, because if we got to the final, we would have won that, let's be honest. 122 goals scored, 25 conceded, and again, the 2 red cards. 101 points in the Premier League compared to Liverpool coming in with 88, Manchester City with 74, and Arsenal with 72. Going over to the team stats, we are going to be looking at 2.66 points per game, most goals at 122, most shots at 957, fewest shots at 286, and the fewest conceded coming in at 25. Going over to the data hub, we are going to be looking at 3.21 goals per game, so a little bit less than obviously the old school database. 0.66 goals conceded per game, over 25 shots a game, so still a really good stat line there, and a pass completion of 80.15. So I will say right now, this is by no means a tiki-taka based tactic. It's a 4-4-2, slightly more direct, guys. So I mean, it's not going to be a high possession tactic, but it is going to be a tactic that can defend well and also win you lots and lots of trophies, which realistically is what people want. In terms of the squad, we are going to go ahead and have a little look right now. So as you can see, we're filtered up by goals, and it is going to be an interesting one. I do want to quickly say, I have added the signings I think are going to go to Manchester United, which is going to be, obviously, this star man here. It's also going to be the likes of Mason Mount, I believe is going to go, Kim Min-jae, and also Diogo Costa, who was registered, but actually didn't play a game, I don't believe. So that's interesting. Yeah, that's a very interesting stat line, but it is what it is. As you can see right now, we're going to have 73 coming in from potentially the new man. We're going to have 44 from Anthony. Weghorst coming in with 13. Quickly to explain, Anthony was playing up front alongside of this lad here. We're going to have 13 with Marcus Rashford, Casemiro with 11, 10 for Bernardo Silva. What am I reading? From Bruno Fernandes. Martial with 8, 8 for Sancho, Mason Mount coming in with 6, 5 for Garnacho, Kim Min-jae with 3. And in terms of the assists, we've got 38 coming in from Sancho, Marcus Rashford with 33, 19 for Anthony, 14 coming in here from that. It's going to be a big Erasmus, 12 coming in there for Bruno Fernandes, Mason Mount coming in with 11, 10 for Casemiro, Garnacho coming in with 5, 5 for Eriksen, and 4 for Dalot. And so this is going to be a hot topic. I forgot to mention it, actually, that we are going to be showing off some of the potential new signings that I think could come in. Let me know in the comments, do you think these signings are doable? And also, if they're not, what window do you think we're going to have? Because I am very keen to know what you guys think. But let's go ahead right now and let's look at some highlights. So we're going to be showing you this 5-0 win over Chelsea in the Premier League as Bruno Fernandes picks it up in midfield, drives a little bit by himself, finds Højlund going through one-on-one. What's he going to do? Of course he's not going to pass it, is he? He's going to go alone, tucks it into the left-hand corner, no doubt there, and I'm really interested to see if we can pull this transfer off. Jadon Sancho into the star man again, back into Jadon Sancho, out wide, a ball across into Anthony. The match engine's great, guys. Great job, SI. We love to see it. Sancho again down the right-hand side. Takes his time with it. He's going to cut it back into Casemiro on the edge, into Bruno Fernandes. Hits it off Thiago Silva, back into Fernandes. A little bit of luck there, who drives it into the bottom right corner. And it's a very lively start from this United team. Marcus Rashford again with the ball here, taking his time. Into Malacia, a player who I wish to see a little bit more of at some point in his Manchester United career. Cuts it back into Anthony, playing in that striker role, who, you know, at the moment, I'm going to be honest, we're not going to talk too much on Anthony because it's a very controversial topic. But this was sort of made before that sort of all happened. So we are going to keep quiet about that because it's not a good topic. As Højlund picks it up again here into Blank, who finishes it off. And that is going to be a very confident 5-0 win against a very strong team. I'm not going to break down the tactic for you guys, but if you are enjoying today's video, please do leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. And please do share the video about, guys. We're trying to push for that 10k mark. We are absolutely, we're so close to it right now. We're so close. It means the absolute world to me. I never thought it would happen. And trust me, when we hit it, it's only going to go up from there, boys. Trust me. But let's go ahead and break down this tactic. So this is going to be Alex Ferguson's treble-winning FM23 tactics. I want to quickly thank all of the names floating down the screen right now. The support over on the Patreon has been absolutely crazy. And if you guys do want to check it out, you can click the link in the description. You get some really cool perks, including early tactic releases, early video releases. You also get priority in your tactic requests, rebuild requests, one-on-one tactic help, access to exclusive giveaways, and I'm constantly adding. I'm constantly adding many more perks I can try and offer to you boys. Because at the end of the day, if you're kind enough to support me like that is honestly, it means the absolute world. So I want to give back as much as I can. But let's go ahead and talk about this tactic. So it is going to be based around obviously the treble winning tactics. It is going to be a 4-4-2. Now, we're going to start off with the team instructions on the default version. It is going to be attacking. Whenever you play a 4-4-2, if you are trying to score a decent amount of goals, you have to be attacking, in my opinion, because if you go positive, you get a lot of those sort of 0-0s, 1-1 games, and it just is a big difference from positive to attacking, is what I'm trying to say, in putting it into short words there. In possession, we've got fairly wide, pass into space, overlap right, standard passing directness, a slightly higher tempo with run at defense and whip crosses. Essentially, it's a very counter-attacking style. Sit back and defend with a little bit of aggression in there as well. And obviously, we're not afraid to go long, as you've seen in the clips. We're not afraid to do that, and it works really, really well. In transition, we've got counter press, counter, distribute quickly, and take long goal kicks. Out of possession, we've got the standard line, a high press and line of engagement, get stuck in, and much more often. Now, realistically, you probably could have a mid-block with this. It possibly would be more realistic. But on this game, as realistic as it is, some styles simply don't work in this game, which is why we've had to tweak it to get the results that it has got. So that is just a little indicator of why it might not be exactly what you were thinking. In terms of the player roles, we are going to have a sweeper keeper on defend, on the default, a fullback on the right, on support, which for some reason I can't click on like this. So these are going to be on the default instructions, but on mark tighter, take fewer risks, and also cross them from the byline. We have a central defender on the default, another central defender on the default, a fullback on the left on support, on take fewer risks, cross from deep, cross aim centre, cut inside with the ball, hold position, and mark tighter. We've got a winger on the left on attack, on cross aim centre, a winger on the right on cross aim centre, shoot more often, and roam from position. Typically, this was going to be the David Beckham. Obviously, we saw him cutting in from the right there and having that fantastic shot, which although didn't go in, led to the goal. So a really good set of instructions to get the best out of your wingers there. A box-to-box on the right, on support, on pass it shorter, and take fewer risks. A centre mid here, on support, on take more risks, get further forwards, roam from position, and also tackle harder. Two up top is going to be a pressing forward on attack on the default, an advanced forward on attack, and also on shoot more often. And that is going to give you a very solid 4-4-2 that looks to defend really well with a little bit of pressure coming in and uses counter-attacks to the maximum capability by playing more direct passes in behind the back line, with a pressing forward putting the pressure on the back line and advanced forward to tuck away all of those glorious chances. Now, going over to what is going to be the attacking variant, there are some changes, as you can imagine. But one thing that doesn't really change is going to be the player roles, because we don't really want to overcommit, because we are still a 4-4-2. But the two changes come in midfield, funny enough. So the centre mid goes on to an attack of duty, still on take more risks, dribble more, roam from position, move into channels and tackle harder. And the box-to-box is simply told to get further forwards additionally to what he was told in the default instruction. So overall, two very minor tweaks that make a very big difference. And I would recommend downloading all three of these if you can, if you are a Patreon member. If not, you can obviously copy them click for click, which is why I still go to the depth to show you guys, because I'm not going to force you to sign up to something you don't want to. Going over to the mentality, we've got an attacker mentality. In possession, we've got fairly wide pass into space, overlap left, overlap right, really pushing to try and get a goal right now. A slightly higher tempo, be more expressive, and run at defense. In transition, we've got counter press, counter, distribute quickly, and take in long goal kicks. And out of possession, we've got exactly the same, the standard line, the high press and line of engagement. We've got much more often, and also get stuck in. Going over to the defensive variant, but before we do, a little memory refresher for you guys. I know I need it. All the tactics I make, sometimes I forget what I'm actually seeing. So, this is going to be the default version. This is now going to be the defensive version, as you can see. Quite a few changes. Now this again, this is going to be a tactic that you want to use only if you are desperate to seal out a game, because as you can see, it is incredibly negative, and I will use that word because it's meant to be. It's meant to be a very negative system which defends games out. It's not there to score goals. So we're going to get into it. These two actually remain the same. The back line remains the same. All of the changes are done across this four here. On the left, we've got a defensive winger on support, cross-aim centre, shoot less often and hold position. And it's going to be exactly the same on the right-hand side. If you've not got players that can play defensive winger very well, you can use wingers on support and just restrict them so they almost are like defensive wingers. Then have a deep line playmaker on defend, on take more risks and tackle harder, and a box-to-box, just so we still have got someone that can help these front two out on pass it shorter and take fewer risks. The mentality drops to positive. Anything less than that would be a bit of a, it wouldn't be a great thing, should be way, way too negative. In possession, we're going to have fairly wide, pass into space, slightly higher tempo, slightly more direct, run at defense, and time wasting sector frequently. In transition, we've got regroup. This is all about now just regrouping, getting men behind the ball and hitting them on the break. Hence why we've got counter-attack on, slow pace down, and take long goal kicks. And out of possession, we've got standard, and we've actually opted for the mid-block as a little bit more of a defensive variant. Still have the much more often, though, on the trigger press. And that is going to be 3 variants of the sensational Alex Ferguson treble winning tactics. A tactic which I don't think anyone can forget this team. You can't forget the treble. Obviously, Man City are potentially going to do it this year. And you know what? It's gotten as a United fan, but it is what it is. City are an incredible team. I think anyone that says they're not are very delusional. Obviously, you know, it's not nice to see for a United fan, but it is what it is. But if you guys have enjoyed today's video, please do leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And I'll see you boys next week for a mixture of some rebuilds and some more tactics.